Today, we're breaking down how secure Bitcoin really is and what people actually mean when they say the network is protected by massive computing power. Welcome to Bitcoin Bytes HQ, simple Bitcoin explainers. This is educational content only, not financial advice. Let's go. You've probably heard claims like, Bitcoin is secured by math, or it would take an unimaginable amount of computing power to attack it. Those phrases sound impressive, but they're vague. They don't really help you feel why Bitcoin is secure, or why that security keeps getting stronger over time. So let's slow it down and make this concrete. At the center of Bitcoin security is something called SHA-256. That stands for Secure Hash Algorithm. A hash function is a mathematical process that takes any input, a sentence, a photo, or a Bitcoin transaction, and turns it into a fixed-length output that looks completely random. Even if the input is simple, the output always looks scrambled. The important part is this: there is no shortcut. You can't look at the output and reverse it to figure out the input. The only way to get a specific result is to guess, check, and repeat, over and over again. SHA-256 also has a property called the avalanche effect. If you change even one tiny part of the input, like a single letter or number, the output changes entirely. There's no gradual shift, it's total chaos. This makes it incredibly reliable for detecting tampering. Bitcoin uses SHA-256 to lock blocks of transactions together. Each block contains a cryptographic reference to the one before it. That creates a chain. If someone tries to change a transaction in an old block, that chain breaks the link to every block that comes after it. Fixing that break isn't simple. An attacker wouldn't just need to change one block. They would need to redo the cryptographic work for that block and every block after it, and they would have to do it faster than the rest of the global network combined, which is still adding new blocks in real time. This is where mining comes in. Mining isn't about solving puzzles intelligently, it's about speed. Miners perform SHA-256 calculations again and again, making guesses as fast as their hardware allows, until one of those guesses meets the network's rules. The Bitcoin network automatically adjusts how hard this process is. As more machines join, the difficulty increases. As machines leave, it decreases. The goal is to keep block timing stable, no matter how much computing power is involved. Right now, the network performs over 1,000 exahashes per second. 1 exahash means 1 quintillion SHA-256 calculations every second. That means Bitcoin is supported by more than 1,000 quintillion guesses every second, happening globally without pause. To put that into perspective, even if you combined every laptop, data center, and supercomputer on Earth, you'd still struggle to match that sustained effort. Attacking Bitcoin doesn't mean beating a company or a government. It means beating the accumulated work of the entire network, second after second. Now, let's look at the common mistakes people make when thinking about this kind of security.
One common mistake is assuming that Bitcoin is anonymous. It isn't. Bitcoin is better described as pseudonymous. Addresses aren't tied to names by default, but every transaction is recorded permanently on a public ledger. Anyone can see the history of an address. Over time, patterns can emerge. Understanding this helps people make smarter decisions about privacy instead of relying on myths. Another mistake is believing that a single hacker, a powerful corporation, or even a government could quietly take control of the network. Bitcoin doesn't rely on accounts, passwords, or permissions. It relies on accumulated computational work. To rewrite the blockchain, an attacker would need to control more computing power than the rest of the world combined and keep that advantage continuously. That kind of effort would be expensive, visible, and extremely difficult to sustain. A third misunderstanding is thinking that Bitcoin's energy use is pointless or wasteful. In reality, that energy is what enforces the rules. It represents real-world cost. It makes cheating more expensive than playing by the rules. Bitcoin converts energy into security, and that's very different from traditional digital systems that rely on trust and authority. When I first learned about Bitcoin, I didn't understand this at all. I assumed it worked like online banking, where institutions, credentials, and oversight were the foundation of security. Once I realized that Bitcoin security comes from math plus irreversible real-world energy expenditure, my perspective shifted. The system doesn't ask anyone to behave honestly. It doesn't care about intentions. It simply makes dishonest behavior economically irrational. That realization removed a lot of fear for me.
Instead of worrying about hidden backdoors or secret vulnerabilities, I could see the incentives clearly, and the incentives are what matter. So here's the simple takeaway. SHA-256 makes Bitcoin data effectively impossible to reverse. Mining adds massive, ongoing computational work behind that math, and the global scale of the network makes rewriting history impractical in the real world. Those pieces work together constantly, without needing trust in any single person or institution. One tiny next action you can take is to look up the current Bitcoin network hash rate and convert exahashes into full numbers, just once. Visualizing the scale helps lock this concept in far better than statistics alone. That's how Bitcoin security works, simplified. If this helped, like, share, and subscribe for more Bitcoin explainers. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.